Alright, we're back. We're gonna get through this and then do a riding episode, and then we're gonna go eat some nachos. So hopefully this will be kind of cool. Jumping into it though, let's go ahead and pop in. Remember, as a reminder, this is the editor's creation that we're kind of going through. We're reading through these, making sure they all sound right, finding sections we need to fill out, and then making notes in our index to kind of go through as we do. We are currently on page 20. We started roughly on 12, so we've covered about 8 pages. We're going to try and get a little bit faster as we go through, but, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, well, let's jump right into it. No, Kanabala, known to have once been a powerful elder treant who had made a deal with the primordial goddess for an immortal life in exchange for protecting the great southern forest of Olympia. Kanabala is believed to be cursed after dealing with thieves' children, those who would call themselves slutty. The deal, though, was said to have somehow caused her oath to the primordial goddess to be broken. The forest would rebel against the elder treant, however, through power inspired by anger or hatred. It is believed that Kanabala would devour all of her children within the forest, all those who had looked to her for guidance, and in a single night would leave the land barren. This is believed to be how the Titans came to be as the primordial goddesses, the last bastion of the divine forest. But even they would eventually fall. As Kanabala finished the destruction of her land, she would spend the next year replanting, growing, and cultivating land. This is believed to be how she gained her immense power as a druid and cleric. Many believe that with the power she has now, and the amount of concentrated divine iron, Kanabala may ascend to the level of demigodhood before long. Her race is a carnivorous queen plant. There's not really an explanation because the idea here is she can kind of change now, given her immense power. She is a Bard 10, and then we gave her Sublime Court to make her a bit more interesting charisma-wise. I think it'll be kind of a unique build into her character overall for those who are familiar with the class. Her ability scores are pretty weak for her strength and dex, as you'd kind of expect for a plant that's not moving around much. Her con, though, is ridiculous. Her intelligence is almost god-breaking here in the idea, and her charisma is beyond. So this is definitely one of those characters that you don't want to be caught unaware talking to. Definitely a let's kill first, talk later kind of situation if you can. But with her journal entry. Now remember, these are from the perspective of the writer writing down what the person they're interviewing is. So that's kind of the idea here as we kind of explain that. And that might be something to look back on and add like an explanation on like what the journal entries are. Actually, you know what? Let's make a note of that real quick. I think that would actually be kind of helpful to know. Well, I think that might be explained in here, actually, to be filled up. Explain what the journal entries are about. So we'll come back to all that later. These are just kind of like some quick notes as we go through and kind of jump into it. As you can see, we have a lot to cover still. And some of this I'll be kind of doing on my own. We won't necessarily do videos of, because that would take a little bit too long if we did that. But this way we can kind of run through it. Alright, so with that, looking at her journal entry, you look quite tasty, young creature, like the small vermin that burrow in the mountains above. You and those around you will be a great feast, a feast far beyond your own comprehension. You creatures think yourselves so advanced, and yet your language is so simple, from the Toth script to the giant runes. All of it easily understood once your brain has been fed upon. Though I do not understand this illithid your people call me when I devour them, for I am no tentacled beast, rather an elegant gardener, or what was the word your race used for the desecration, or for the desecration genocide? Ah yes, farmer. This is but another title for one who sees your humanoid. Sees your humanoids, as you call yourselves, as nothing but food. I watch, I wait, and when you are ripe, I shall eat you, like you would do to any beast of burden when hungry. Once you outgrow your usefulness, all will be devoured. From the great deserts to the feathered mountains, all shall see the great plan come to pass. Her alignment. Neutral evil. Trying to edit at the same time. I will do as I must, regardless of the survival of others. Will I hunt to excess? Of course, for a plant knows no end to its hunger. And then we'll do writer's note. It is currently looking at me with what I can only describe as a plant's hunger. Notable deeds. Defeated the first Papool and conquered the territory she now holds, though it formerly belonged to the Slotty race. Writer's note here, the Slotty race has been known to be extinct even before the collective papyrus came together. Religion, the first one. So we do need to actually change this. Update to primordial gods. Because we actually did establish the primordial gods on the other document, so I'll kind of go back and check that later. Alright. Known to be 40 foot tall and weighing an unknown amount due to her complete wrapping around of Stone the Titan. Though resembling a mix of Trant and a Venus flytrap, many have noted that her preferred form seems to be a massive humanoid figure she takes on when wrapping around Stone the Titan fully. Showing her ancient treant form with two massive arms that are said to be made from the long extinct poisonous plant called Dragon's Silence. We'll add that as item? Yeah, I think that would make the most kind of sense. Ancient treant Kanabala entry. No. Thank you. Alright. Perfect. A plant said to have specialized in taking down dragons up to the elderly adult in size. Or up to elderly adults in size. Her green glow that she exudes through her eyes like holes are said to be made from a plant that would have existed at the bottom of the ocean. We'll add that as well. Glowing plant for eyes. Kanabala entry. No. I love that it tries to correct me like it thinks it knows. It's like, no, you don't. Alright. Writer's note. Every part of this so-called world leader is truly designated to feast upon anything. An apex monster that will hunt anything and everything. Is duly designed to, I think, it's designed to feast upon anything. Okay, we might have to fix this later. I don't like how this sounds. To be looked at. Alright. Comrades to be filled out, because we have to explain that. Her rivals, the first Papool and Stone the Titan. I think that needs to be explained to be more. Organization. We're going to be explaining why she's not. While it seems like obvious choice, it's not necessarily. Philosopher's Stone. We'll need an edit to be unique. Yeah, because this is not how I want it. This was just early on, so we knew this because some of the players were looking to fight her. So we're going to probably change this out to our own unique version of the Philosopher's Stone. So, for now, I will leave this as italicized to kind of note as, hey, this is an inspiration, but we're going to kind of do something else. Ambition, to see the great plan come true, the world devoured, though for now, the feathered mountains must fall. You can tell her hatred for the Toth kind of runs deep in this character, but she has a justification with the mention of her children being taken from her. Kind of gives you that idea of that, mother, scorned mother, who does not care about anything else. And I kind of dig it because it plays off of another character really well that is introduced down in the Apex Monsters called Vitra. That's how it's pronounced. It's spelled Vitra, as you'll see her. But the idea of this character that doesn't really look at other races as anything other than lessers and no more than you'd look at a dog or a cat at most. And it kind of gives an interesting perspective of okay, here's a humanoid or a creature that isn't is so bizarre to the humanoid mindset that there's no understanding to her. And I kind of dig that as a character. I kind of think it'll be fun to mess around with. Alright, Shavika, the Twin Breath, as written by Barjas, the world writer of Clan Ogum. Another character we're going to have to add into our writer section. We will unbolden him and unitalicize him. Also, my phone is going to continue to go off. I apologize. I'm looking for work, and I'm hoping to get a phone call at some point from one of the companies I interviewed at. Shabika's page. Perfect. Fantastic. So we need an intro. We knew that was going to be an issue no matter what. So let's just get that kind of in there and ready to go. Her race is a Dread Lenorm, which is, I believe, a type of dragon that's like twin-headed. Kind of gives two breaths, which is kind of an interesting idea. She's an Abjuration Wizard, an Archmagi, and level 5 into Sorcerer. We are going to add Archmagi in here, because it's not in here yet. So, and that'll be a big class that we'll kind of have to explain what that is. Abjuration Wizard, I don't think we'll need explanation, as the idea is it's just supposed to be a wizard who specializes in a specific kind of school of magic. So, I think that's fine. Journal entry. Okay, that was interesting. I did not mean to do that. Alright, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. We'll just hit backspace a bunch. Alright. Many who will read this will wonder how such a beautiful dragon as myself was able to gain such a powerful breath. Well, as I have been given the advice from close friends of mine, I will advise you on how I have done so, and more. I was born as a single-headed dragon, though the world will know nothing of it. I would spend my nights fighting and striving to survive amongst the darkened pits that was Dragon's Crown's breeding rooms. You heard that correct. The Aussie clan are responsible for ensuring the strongest dragons survive, and I, like many others, would find themselves pitted against my siblings. The world was cruel, and I grew up cautious. I planned so much that as I slept upon a bed of blue stones, my body would hear me. And then the voice that was once in my head had now had its own, and a new power awoken in me. There we go. Now I could see moments into the future, planning for any spell that came my way. So in truth, my breath doesn't dispel, but nothing can stop me. I who grow strong, I who will live and fight on. I will kill Sisormax, for he has watched as we wormlings feasted upon each other, laughing and enjoying the fights, with his own kin sent in to test themselves against us. But I am clever. We are clever, and I will win. We will win. As she continues to go on with that slightly kind of craziness that I kind of feel like would make sense with a secondary head, you know? Alright, her alignment, lawful evil, uniquely enough. The world's laws will give me the rights the world's law will give me the rights I need to kill without concern. None shall be able to backstab with justice on their side, and the righteous always kill the unrighteous. Notable deeds: survived the Aussie clan breeding pits, defeated Lovarask, the Titarian dragon who ruled Fires Forgotten. We'll add him as well down below as another dragon character. I forgot where he was listed. Oh, I think he's listed in Ali. Yeah, Alia. Shavika. We'll come back to him later. And again, these are just our spark notes. Religion, of course, she has none, but we will have to fill that out to explain why, so you get character motivation. Alright, physical traits, standing 60, wow, standing 36 feet tall and weighing roughly 63,000 pounds. This purple and white scaled dragon was known for her bright purple eyes. Very simple description, not too much to be explained there. We might want to give more later on that. Notable rivals: Sisormax, Movasi, and all other dragon lords. I'm good with that. Organizations, again, Can't do that. I forgot. We got to do it the old-fashioned way. Doing the formatting of these things is always terrible, so we have to be kind of careful with that. All right. Notable items. Boots of the Survivor. Any character wearing this footwear may teleport 7 times per day. Oh, okay, so this will need to be updated to unique, because that's not going to work for me. Ambition: to survive and kill Movasi and the other Dragon Lords who caused the pain that I and my brethren went through. Fair enough. We got Cyranoir here, who's up next. However, before we get into him, that is the end of, I think this will be episode 4. Let's take a quick pop in and look. This is episode 4. So on the next episode, next week, we're going to start doing some writing. That'll be about 15 minutes of writing through for the episode. I don't know if this will be next week, next day probably, as we kind of continue on with the series. So if you guys enjoy this, let me know, and we'll kind of continue as we have been. If you're not, well, hey, I understand. We'll just kind of continue uploading where we can and for what we can. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed today's episode.